Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Triple Threat. I am your host, Big D, and to my right is the California Kid.
Yo, what's good?
And normally I would say the Pike is here, but unfortunately, due to some circumstances, probably Pike ate too much wedding cake yesterday. He's unable to come out of his cave and join us today.
Yeah.
But we wish him the best and hope he has a speedy recovery from his stomach ache or drinking too much or whatever. And today we got some special guests. John, can you introduce yourself?
It's the Chaos Boys from Middle Georgia Backyard Wrestling. I am Dees, and I have my brother
Zero, and I am sore as hell.
For those of you fans who are unaware of this, and you'll become aware in a few weeks, there will be a episode by the time this comes out. Mid Georgia, these two went through a war just the other day, the last event.
It's been an ongoing war the past couple events.
Yeah, with Outlaw over there running y'all's group, it's a little bit crazy, isn't it? I'm surprised you're even here, Zero.
He's put the whole federation against us, and it just backfired in his face pretty much. We're still here and we're still walking around.
Yeah, for those of you fans who there's a podcast, but there's a lot of scars on this guy from the other day. You'll know what we're talking about when the next episode comes out. But anyway, just a little note there. Mid Georgia's in the house.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, let's get down to business and let's talk about the topic of the week. Daniel Bryan is probably going to be out for 3 to 4 months. He suffered a neck injury and had surgery last Thursday. From reports, the surgery went well, and it's said that he's probably going to be out for 3 to 4 months. I gotta say, it's pretty sad. I mean, dude finally gets the title. He gets to marry Brie Bella, which some might say is probably nothing special, but
He it's sad because he's worked for years for this. I mean, from his years as the American Dragon, coming up, winning, coming to prominence in ROH, and now he's here. He's climbed the ladder at WWE. He's done everything they asked, become a champion. It comes full circle, gets married, does all this, and now, you just hit these kind of pitfalls. It's like people who rise to the top, who earn it, always hit these pitfalls. I mean, gosh, we can go back as far as Eddie Guerrero or freaking Benoit. It's always like the earners, the real earners, always just hit a wall when they get up there. It's just, what is it called, the success ceiling.
Yeah, but I mean, to lose your dad, like I think it was 2 or a week after you won the title, and now you got a neck injury. It's just pretty bad for Daniel Bryan. Plus, let's tie this into the subject. The way they've been booking him after he won the title is just real shitty lately. I mean, the whole thing with Kane is just... I mean, the match at Extreme Rules wasn't bad, but it's just the storyline and them repeating the same Zack Ryder gimmick that they did with him and Eve, and the whole car thing with Brie and Kane was just so stupid.
He's like, it was. Everybody talks about that match and the Extreme Rules match.
It was a good match.
I mean, it had its moments. It had its moments.
And I gotta give some shout out to Kane because, I mean, you gotta give him some props. Dude went through a table that was on fire, and you seen Kane's costumes before. It had sleeves and stuff to protect it. Dude had no sleeves on, so I'm pretty sure he got burned.
Yeah. I can guarantee he got burned.
I think Kane should be used to fire by now.
He is the fire. He is the fire, man. Kane is.
But there is some kind of some rants I want to do about that because the thing with Kane is every time he gets in a match with fire, we all know it's going to be him getting burned. So WWE needs to put that to rest because
Yeah.
unless somebody
What
else
was
is
the
gonna
one
get
with that dumpster where there was like a dumpster or something he was standing over, like a large dumpster, and it was fire coming
that
out?
was Shane.
Yeah, the Shane McMahon thing. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
That was the one where he had Shane tied up and he threatened to electrify his testicles.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he had him hooked up to the juice. Yeah, I remember the juicer. Yeah, I remember that was a classic.
So what are you guys' thoughts about the whole Daniel Bryan?
I kind of wonder if the injury is a way to spend more time with Bree, or maybe she might be
I
pregnant.
think it might be a work.
It might be. And just
You never know with these people.
Well, it really wasn't a work because they did have a picture of him in the hospital, but I did thought about that.
How many shoots have they done in the hospital, though?
Yeah, it's just like
The
they
old-
are.
The old rattlesnake beat McMahon's ass in the hospital that one time.
I mean, I admit they do have access to things like that, and it's not beyond the scope of believability that they would go that far. But then you kind of wonder why they didn't go that far with certain other things they've done, though. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I wish they would go that far with some things just to suspend my belief more. You know?
Well, and you can also think about it. You get tombstone the wrong way. That is your neck.
right.
Yeah, like with Austin and Owen Hart.
I mean,
Me and Pike was talking about it. You got to be careful with neck injuries because, I mean, look at Austin, Lita, Edge. Their careers were cut short because of a neck injury.
Yeah, that's a career-ending injury at times.
Yeah, and that's why they're so scrutinized on the pile driver. I mean, God, we all saw what happened between Punk and Cena, the infamous pile driver. It's a pile driver.
But yeah, I feel like it maybe worked because he was wearing a neck brace, and then Raw he comes out with no neck brace, and he's moving his head around a lot. I feel like if it was a serious neck injury, he should have been in the brace still and not moving.
It does bring the question that maybe it'll work. And if it did, it's a very elaborate work. I mean, they really went above and beyond on this one. I mean,
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow, around about 3 or 4, because they are taping Raw from London, so we should get some word back from the dirt sheets when it happens. Because on Raw they said that they're going to give us information about the title if maybe Daniel Bryan would have to vacate it or we'd be able to keep it. But it's just the way that they book him is just poor. They could do so much better. Putting him with Kane was just a bad idea because they had matches beforehand, and doing it again, it's just, to me, it was a waste of time.
they want to see what he can. See, the thing is, if they really want to get money out of Daniel Bryan, they should already be booking him against like the caliber. I mean, you got Cesaro waiting off in the wings. You got him in some storyline. Of course, you got the members of the Shield, which is good to keep them together right now. But still, it doesn't mean that you can't start setting them up for an encounter, later on. Even though they're face right now, but it's just they have all this talent and they have all these capable men that they could turn to go ahead and they need to start healing some of these guys just so they can get them in there with Daniel Bryan and let Daniel Bryan actually have some of his better performances, I think, as champion, so he gets some solid defenses in. He's one of the best workers in the world. I mean, come on, he's right there. You have him.
Yeah, and it's just the way that they executed. Him running away from Kane just makes no sense. You build this guy to he can do anything, he can overcome the odds, then you have him run away like a coward from Kane. It makes no sense.
He topples the authority, and then I'm running from Kane.
Yeah. But hopefully everything with Daniel Bryan will be all right.
It makes no sense.
Hopefully he'll come back by SummerSlam, which probably if he does have to take time off, I'm pretty much guessing that they're probably not going to do Brock versus Daniel Bryan. Not yet. They'll probably save it for probably the Rumble.
Daniel Bryan, there's something about that's interesting to see. Daniel Bryan would counter the F5, or would he counter it?
I mean, that would be good.
See
So,
how they would work Brock in that situation.
Yeah.
It's like
But let's throw this out. If they do take the title off of Daniel Bryan, who do you think they should put it on?
They need to do some kind of.
Me personally, I think they should put it on Booker T.
Booker T retired.
Well, shows you how long I've been since I
oh
watched
my
wrestling.
god. The
I don't think they should just hand it to somebody. They need to do some kind
They take
of
it
system.
The only one that seems like they're gonna put it on is Batista, and it's probably just to make him happy and keep him in WWE.
They could do anything with Batista. Everybody's
This is the
ruined
reason I don't watch Raw.
Well,
God.
if you heard the news, he was unhappy, and it was mostly because of money. Because
Exactly.
They're not gonna pay you.
Why?
Yeah.
You're getting paid. Suck it up, man. We get out here and bleed for free.
Like, dude, the guy. Okay, the average. Okay, this is a good thing. This brings about a really good discussion here about they said Batista's not happy. Okay, dude, the average guy who works at WWE is making at least $100K a year, if not two.
Exactly.
Like, you're walking away with like nice little paychecks. Just even if you're in the lower card, you're making money.
Right.
I mean, heaven knows how much Batista's getting off contract alone right now. He's not even a full timer.
plus you're getting money from Marvel.
Yeah, you're getting money from
You're
there.
probably gonna get more money when Guardians of the Galaxy comes out.
I never understood this how they come public, how these guys come public talking about I'm not happy with my contract. What kind of a wuss do you have to be to go out there and take little bumps like that and say you don't think you're being paid enough? Heaven knows how much he's getting paid. How much money do you want? It's like
This is
it's
why I
Batista.
love, just regular wrestling when I can watch people
That's why a lot of
that,
fans turn away
get
from
together
this.
like the BACW that do
Oh,
the
yeah.
wrestling we do. We do it for the sportsmanship.
Well, then, I mean,
And-
you're gonna have people. You're gonna be like BSW groups, like of course, Beyond Wrestling, all these guys who do this stuff. But see, that's the thing. This whole Batista situation is exactly the reason why WWE is even made this movement to even push Daniel Bryan, because they wanted to do something because they knew they were losing sales on that in that audience. But see, now they're kind of just touring away again, and I don't know where they're going to go with it now, because they're, like Shaddai is saying here, they're not really booking him, which is like, they're not booking him. I'm just like, come on, you guys want to get our attention, book him, in something nice.
They'll wind up throwing Cena back in her face.
Yeah, they will. They're gonna do that.
Well, hopefully
go-to.
things get better. As long as it's not Orton, because Orton has chance and Alice a fail. And as long as Triple H doesn't get the title, because I really don't see the point of him having the title anymore.
That's
they
a
would go
thought
to
I
him.
was. That's a thought I was having. Was H would probably get it.
He would be a go-to if they want to continue if the company feels that
I would say
he is
put it
the
on.
company, if they want to continue his legacy of titles, they
I
would.
would say
But see, that's the thing. He has a legacy, and now he's married to the owner's.
Darn.
Exactly. So
Wait,
really, now I'm sitting here watching, just say, and Triple H comes out, gets a title, and I'm like, "Pfft, go figure, he's porking man's old lady."
That would be the general thought of any fan. I mean,
he's darn not his wife.
His young lady, yeah. He just meant the death match, but yeah, his young lady daughter, who, for all purposes, I give Stephanie McMahon credit. I mean, she is doing her job. I mean, but sometimes I feel like she overacts a little bit. It's kind of the McMahon style, but sometimes I feel like she overplays it.
You mean with the whole the monster king, knocking on
she
the door, trying to
don't
be
you feel
all
like she kind of?
I have a heavy head. Sorry.
Sometimes I think she's a little. See, I think Stephanie McMahon would do a lot better if she just she could be over the top sometimes because that's the way the McMahon psychology works. Because they are these over the top rich people who do this kind of who have this god complex at times. Even all of them had it at one point or another when they go heel. But you got Stephanie McMahon, and I think at times she can be a little bit too over the top with her with some of the things she says on the air. I think it goes a little too far sometimes, and it suspends. It kind of crushes my suspended belief of saying, okay, now she's just acting. It's kind of like, now I'm just sitting there like, okay, I know the McMahon's over the top, but now she's just kind of sitting there acting, She's trying to act, But
I prefer her over Vicky Guerrero.
okay. Oh, and that's the zinger for the day. That's the zinger for the day.
I can't stand Vicky Guerrero.
God.
Oh, man,
That
that
is the
annoying laugh.
No, but I will give you that was one of the best firings I've ever seen when she gets fired by Triple H's. That was one of the best firings I've ever seen. That was awesome. That was good. That was one of the best firings.
Was it just me? But what was up with her outfits?
I don't know.
She was showing off her body because she lost so much weight after exercise.
Yes, she was proud of it. Yeah,
She was very proud of it.
She
Of all that
was.
liposuction she got with
She earned it. It's not like she earned it. Anyway, take the floor, sir. I'm sorry.
That's all I see.
We just went on a tear about that one. That was good. Good question. Outfits, yeah.
Anyway, let's get back on to the next topic. Shield versus Evolution. I saw the match at Extreme Rules. I had to say that was the match of the night.
That was
a great match.
Great match.
I was actually glad I watched that day.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I gotta say, if you're not a fan of Seth Rollins now, that match would make you a fan of his.
Because I mean, they're wild, and when they get out there, they really go at it. And I think they put more in just a paycheck into it.
They have a lot of intense. Well, these are definitely the children of ROH. They're just going to get out there and go. I mean,
yeah, dude took it back old school to ECW super crazy style with
That's
that
why
jump
I
off
love
the
that match.
Yeah, wonderful.
But it was kind of funny how Batista was the only one getting the shit kicked out of him and getting the.
Well, you earned his paycheck at least this time. Big paycheck we're talking about.
Yeah. And then the whole thing with that's not on Raw. Dean Ambrose lost his U.S. title to Sheamus having to compete in the Battle Royale, which I kind of knew they had to do something with Sheamus, but the title's already useless or whatever.
That's just like a.
Then at the main event, it was the Wyatts versus the Shield, and then Evolution came and put a beat down on them and mocked the Shield by doing a triple power bomb.
Yeah,
And then on the Raw after that, they beat down the Evolution, and then Triple H made the announcement that it's going to be singles matches, which surprised me with the lineup. Well, I was surprised about Orton versus Ambrose because that's going to be a good match. But I was surprised with Triple H going against Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns going against Batista.
That's going to be a good show.
That should have been the other way around.
I mean,
yeah, because I thought Triple H would probably put him against Roman Reigns because he's like the star of the Shield.
Yeah, you think Triple H would actually go after the biggest seller, the biggest potential maker, but I guess Triple H, to his credit, he does at times respect the work. He will work the best worker because not that he's a great worker, but Triple H is a really. I'm talking about ring wise, like he's a decent worker. Triple H has always been a decent worker. He's always been a decent worker.
He's been around for a long time too.
I can see him working somebody who knows how to work. It's one of those things. But it's not that Roman Reigns can't work. It's just that he's more over as a power guy.
Well, he has like I said before, like when I said that, I didn't know why everybody was so into the guy as him being the next, big, main event guy. he has stepped up since the last time I said that, and he has, convinced me that he is going to be.
He has potential to be.
He has
Yes,
the look.
potential.
He has the look.
I mean, the whole running outside and jumping up and kicking, it was awesome.
Yeah, the challenge is going to be once he gets fully over, if he can change up his repertoire every once in a while. Because that's how you end up staying around. Is
And
that
plus, when
you
they
can
break
do
up the
that stuff.
Shield, what they're going to give him?
The number one reason that people like RVD and guys who just been around like Chris Jericho and all those kind of people who are always around, the reason why they stay over no matter where they go is because the fans, even though they have a regular five moves to go to or they have a regular routine, you just can't guarantee. You just have no idea what these guys are going to do because they can throw in something that otherwise you wouldn't normally see them do, and they're gonna change it up every once in a while, and you're gonna get something interesting. That is why these guys stay over. Now, with the hardest work, the most dangerous thing about starting out and getting over and being pushed as a big star in WWE is the fact that you really get caught up in doing the routine. Like, I hear a lot of people in the business will force you to keep to your routine because they're scared that you're not going to be able to perform, and that's probably why they get watered down so much. But the way you stay is when you force your way through getting your ideas into the match, and that's going to be the challenge for Roman Reigns really, because he has a set. We can almost name off all his moves just like that, We know what he's going to do. We know he has the spear. We know he has the running kick to the outside. I mean, we know he has the Superman punch. We know he has that. We know.
I'm surprised DC has a church suit though.
The thing that's kept him over is just
or
how
UFC, because that's one of their moves.
Yeah. The thing that's made him the thing that's kept him popular is the fact that they're kind of like these quick kind of moves that can come from anywhere. So it's just the timing that's kept him over, the amazing timing with it, he's gonna come from somewhere, and most times they have the camera somewhere and he comes from off screen and just nails somebody with the spear, or he comes from off screen and just runs up and kicks somebody who happens to be hanging off the ropes and the outside. He can surprise you with his maneuvers, which is how he stayed over. It's just been timing, but it's going to take more than timing. When more time has passed with him, he's going to need some more stuff to go to, and that's what's going to make the difference between him being a long stay or a short, or like a short spark. I think that's just my opinion.
Okay, Zero, you want to take over?
Roman Reigns, anybody want to say something about Roman Reigns? Any final comments on Roman Reigns? I guess we'll open the floor.
Or the whole Evolution Shield.
The Evolution Shield thing, I say, from seeing what I have seen of the Shield, they couldn't have brought back a better group for them to go against. Evolution, back in the day, was an awesome trio. Back when Ric Flair and them, and they broke up on the terms they did, you never seen them getting back together. So.
No, it was
awesome.
almost like buried. Yeah.
Speaking of Flair, it was awesome to see him come out and because everybody was asking to the
if anybody followed the show, I was predicting that he was going to do it at Mania. I thought for sure he was going to do it at Mania, but then it just didn't.
Because everybody was asking where the fuck was he?
Yeah, everybody's already here. You got the whole cast, the whole gang's here.
But you got to give them credit. They sticking to their guns. They're not going to put the dude back in the ring.
Right.
But it was good to see him come out, and people found, they finally acknowledging that they couldn't have Evolution without Flair. But you got any thoughts?
On Reigns, I say he's got the face to be a champion. I don't know if they need to split the Shield up before they go that route. I like the Shield together, so
yeah, me too. I was preaching that on the episode.
I kind of like to see them stick around.
What about the Evolution?
As far as that, I mean, they did the match at Extreme Rules, and now they're doing it again at Judgment Day. They need to do something to top it. Payback. That's what
they call us.
That's still one of the worst names for
why are you gonna call it Payback? It's like it's payback time, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, that's such a sell statement for a pay-per-view. Hey, we're just gonna call it Payback." It's like, God, man. The worst
They changed
to this.
so much.
Oh God, I hated Bad Blood. That was the worst pay-per-view of the year. It's like, oh, it's gonna be Bad Blood.
No, the worst pay-per-view of the year with me was Bash at the Beach.
What's wrong with Bash at the Beach?
Who wrestles on the beach? You won't sand in your
He's talking about
tights.
that. He's talking about that. I know he's talking about. I know why he says that.
But what about
Those
Hog
matches. Oh God, Hog Wild. Oh yeah, when they went to Sturgis. Like, oh my God, Hog Wild. They went to the Sturgis. That was pretty bad. Oh my God, we're just gonna name them off, aren't we?
Okay, so payback. I think they need to do a specific type of match to top what happened at Extreme Rules. Like,
Well, with Daniel Bryan being gone, they're gonna pretty much have to stick with them until probably SummerSlam. I was hoping they're gonna do a War Games, but like I said before, if you're not gonna show any blood, what's the point of having War Games or any cage
Right.
match?
Yeah, that's.
Wrestlers really don't bleed like they used to.
No, they've totally taken that off television. Just about like they call it the Attitude Era. What it was real wrestling, but heck, everybody just wants to say, "Oh, that was just during that era." Now we're going PG, and we want to make this. We want to get a wider audience.
You know what? We grew up watching Attitude Era, and
they killed ECW.
Everybody's fine here.
Yeah. But speaking of Cage, let's talk a little bit about the Cena Wyatt feud. Sorry, Sean, but I'm going to have to dig at Cena again. Alright. This feud is getting really, really bad. It's mostly Cena's fault, and I'm going to give my reasons why. The guy keeps going back and forth. He seems like he can't make up his mind. Is he afraid of Wyatt, or is he not? And I mean, cracking jokes and coming up with stupid gimmicks, it's just dumb and it's killing the whole storyline.
It's discrediting Bray, and I was saying this from the beginning during the WrestleMania match. The worst move they made with this storyline is to let Cena go over at Mania during that match. It would have made more sense had Bray Wyatt, and it wouldn't have ended his legacy, even though they said the legacy was on the line. It wouldn't have ended Cena's legacy. All they had to do was just bring it into question. Has Cena lost? They didn't have to actually take away the legacy, but I think that they really lost a big opportunity to keep Bray credible by letting him lose to John Cena at WrestleMania. It was one of the most pointless put over the face moments in the history of wrestling, in my opinion, because he had turned at a moment when you have the whole audience do a turn and they're actually on Bray's side. Why then do you let Cena go over? And we've been building to this the whole time to kind of usher in new thought, into the show. It was pointless. John Cena is going to be money. He's going to be worth something. He's your money. He's going to be worth, as long as there are kids, as long as there are American lovers, as long as there's patriotism, John Cena is going to be over. He's going to stay over. You don't have to keep sacrificing potential talent to keep John Cena over. He's going to still be the hero of the show, but at the same time, he can job to somebody to get somebody over and not take any damage. They really wasted that at WrestleMania. That's why a lot of people were upset that Bray Wyatt lost, because Bray Wyatt needed that win. After all those promos and build, all that work that went into that.
Yeah.
Just and then the audience actually turns and you don't let him win.
Yeah. And then the cage match at Extreme Rules, it wasn't that good.
No, the little kid coming.
I mean,
that was ridiculous.
It was
Cena could have been like, excuse me. Pick the kid up.
It would have been
to
better.
the side.
It would have been better if it was 10 or 12 kids in front of
the lamb masks.
Make it more.
I mean, everyone had lamb except for the kid that was at the door and singing. Then that would have been okay.
I'm saying they want to make this like a cult thing. I mean, they want to get that bravado over. Make it mean something. Put some work into it.
I mean, it's been a while since they've even had something like that.
And also, can the announcers please stop with the cage is meant to keep them out. Dude, there's no roof on top of the cage. They can get on the side. The door is unlocked. They can walk through the door.
Oh my God! That's one thing I've never understood about the cage matches. Why is there a door?
Yeah, like there didn't used to be a door.
No,
There didn't
used
used to be a door. They never put a door. I understand they do it just so that somebody can crawl out and somebody can slam the cage in their face or something. They started introducing that in the 90s. But I'm like, before, if you watch cage matches, you had doors.
They get in the ring and then
They didn't have doors back then. You couldn't just walk out. There was no walking out. You had to crawl.
And also now, even the Hell in the Cell and the Elimination Chamber, people still get in. I mean, look what happened the last time. Triple H got in, Kane chokeslammed Daniel Bryan, the Wyatts got in, even though they didn't do nothing to get in. They just showed up out of the thin air and got into the Elimination Chamber. I mean, back in the day, cage match with just two people, nobody got in and out. I mean,
it was the be all end all feuds, man. Those things used to be the be all end all.
That was it. That's what it all boiled down to.
And it was about blood. The cage match, everybody bleeds in a cage match. It's a freaking cage
as a weapon.
Yeah,
rub their head in it.
That's why people watch them.
The shaky.
People watch them for the spectacle of seeing people get lacerated.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
I remember watching people get their head raked across.
Yeah,
That was like one of the great things.
My favorite was the Lion's Den.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, it's like just different structures of the cage concept, and the whole point was to watch somebody just juice. I mean, that's what we watch those. Get a message to WWE. My God.
But it was announced on Raw that the match at Payback between Wyatt and Cena is going to be a last man standing match. So
this is going to be a disaster. I'll tell you why. It's going to be a disaster. I'll tell you why. They're gonna do one of two things with this last man standing match between Bray and Cena. It's either going to come down to him doing some transient conversion thing where Cena gives up purposely because he's given in. It's going to be. It's going to be. They're going to.
They can't give up.
They're going to. No. I'm thinking I quit. Okay. Well, either way, it's going to come down to. It's going to. I don't think that Cena can win this, really, but they're going to find. If they put Cena over in this, it'll make the whole feud pointless. It'll make the whole feud pointless. The whole thing would be pointless. Like, the match could save the feud, but then the feud itself could be already messed up enough to where the match isn't going to be a disaster. There's no feeling there anymore. They ruined the build. They ruined the foundation from the start of this thing. And now when you watch the skits and everything that's going on now, it's just like you're just pissing in the wind. Just like that's how I feel about it anyway. It's spoiled milk.
I kind of feel like they're just bouncing back and forth. Like Cena got the win at WrestleMania, Wyatt won at Extreme Rules. Now Cena will pick up another win. They're just kind of like going back and forth. But
it's like that song Against the Wind. They're just pissing the wind. It's coming back on the person's leg, and that's what's going on.
I'd have to agree.
It's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's just,
and unless the Wyatts pull some little trick.
They're going to surprise us. It's going to have to be something really unthought of. They're going to have to think outside the box and do something that we hadn't thought of.
You know what I would like to see is Cena do something outside the box.
That too would be nice. John Cena doing something outside of his regular formula of being the get-up, stand-up guy hero.
Pull one out of the hat of desperation.
He hasn't changed from that.
He hasn't evolved at all.
When he first came in, he was kind of on the bad side.
He had the whole like the thugonomics thing going, and then he did evolve from that to like the American hero,
and he's been that.
And now we are at the point where he's just not going anywhere. I mean, he's just the symbol now. He's like a poster boy.
A poster boy, exactly.
And I'm like, if you're going to make him a poster boy, at least have some character involvement of some kind. At least with freaking Sergeant Slaughter, he went Iraqi for a while and came back, or messed with our emotions. Hulk Hogan goes black and white and messes.
And
people still
I'm not saying, and believe me, I'm not saying every phase has to have a bad time. No, you can have some pure phases, but in this case, this is one case where I'm saying this at this point in time, we can't afford that at this point in time with John Cena. He's been riding too clean, and if he's going to ride clean like that, you can keep him clean and goody two shoes, but at least let some other guys who are trying to be good heels do their job. He's got to lose sometime. John Cena's the hero has to go down sometimes so that the villain is effective. I don't see Bray being effective, right now. They kind of messed up his effectiveness,
Yeah.
It's just the thing. He should have won Mania, and then Cena it should have been the other way around. And then Cena should have won the one this last one. It's pointless.
But getting to another person that's kind of getting screwed over by creative. As we all know, Paige won the Divas title from AJ.
Oh yeah.
And ever since then, they put her up against Divas. They put her against Tamina. They put her against Alicia Fox. And they put
I want to
her
talk about
against
that one too.
Asana.
I want to talk about the Alicia Fox match. We got to get into that.
And they keep building her like, oh, she gets beat down, and she comes back, and like, how many times
wins
you
with
gonna
the
keep
simplest moves too.
Okay, most of us miss the Divas matches. I know I normally make it a point to do that, but for this one, I actually did watch this recent match with Alicia Fox. One thing I'm going to give this match. One thing I will give this match credit. That was one of the most effective and best after-match outbursts I've ever seen. Like,
Are you serious?
I thank you for doing something. Dude, that was intensity.
It was not.
That was intensity.
She did it again on it was main event or SmackDown. She did it.
But that one was not as effective as this one.
No,
This one, she goes. I've never seen. No, I have. That is the most emotional.
That was weak.
That is the most.
Sold JBL.
Admittedly, I would have liked. No. Admittedly, I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more happen. I would have liked to have seen her not actually strike the referee and really.
I think she did on SmackDown.
Okay, if she did that, that's good. But that to me, the only reason I like that is I like this outburst. Whereas otherwise, it would have been total poppycock. Is the fact that she put a lot of emotion. I saw intensity there. Like that is how you show intensity. I wish they would do
that. Was intense.
That is how you throw a freaking fit, man. You get out the ring, you tear off the. I thought she hesitated a little bit to tear off the. I don't know why she was hesitating to tear the thing off the desk.
That was intensity, and Kelly got a lot of it, man.
Kelly is the.
That was not. That was
good. That was intensity.
That was a bad rip off of Bret Hart. I forgot what
she should have did it. She should have tore out the monitors. I would like to see. It's just like these divas. They go out there and they do all. They're so half.
It was a bad rip off of Bret Hart and Mickey James.
That's not what she was striving for. She was just. It was more emotion than I'd seen somebody show. She gets out of the ring.
She gets out of the ring. She throws Paige's jacket. She taunts at the fan.
But, I mean, she kicked the dang guard. How the hell is that? If you're sitting in the audience and she kicked it really hard. I mean, the guy standing there was like, wow, crap.
But she didn't do nothing. And then she hit I guess it was the timekeeper.
I would have.
She stole JBL's hat. Then she put, I think it was water soda on his laptop.
Yeah, I would have liked it.
And then she walked away doing the guns with the hat. That was it. I'm like, that was weak as fuck.
But on SmackDown,
here's what I wish she would have did. No. I liked it. But go ahead.
On SmackDown, when she did another fit after losing, she took all their little papers that the commentators started shoving them down their throat.
Oh my god!
And just knocked them out of their chairs.
And then here's the thing. I wish she would do it, if since she's going that route, I wish she would take in the papers and it's more effective if she just taken them and just threw them in the wind. Yeah. And then taking them on her, throw them out like Bret Hart did, all that stuff, but not as slow as Bret Hart did. I mean, really just rip those babies and tear them and then really, really hit somebody and be effective. That is the kind of intensity show. And then she needs to bring it to the ring, really get nasty in there fast, like the girls, who the heels on TNA, the blonde,
the
beautiful people, they were stiff and they were mean in the ring. If you watch when they first got started, they were mean. Did you see how hard they were hitting?
Yeah.
That's the kind of intensity you have to show out there. You have to go out there and you have to show that audience that I am pissed off that I lost and I'm going to break this person's face no matter what the hell I have to do. I am going to put this person on the mat and I'm going to pin them and then I'm going to stomp them afterwards and I'm going to spit in their face and I'm going to throw on. We got to see that. We want emotion, you know. But yeah, that was the most emotion. The only reason I liked that outburst was just that was the most emotion I had ever seen in a while from any of them. Like, you know, that was emotion. That was some emotion. Finally. You know, but anyway, yeah, it could have gone a little bit further though. I could have seen more.
I guess me and Calhoun had.
I didn't think it was bad. I did not think it was bad. I thought it was good. I just thought it could have gone further. I thought it could have gone way further.
Also, it looked like she almost hurt Paige, especially that one with she fell out of the ring onto the floor.
Yeah, we need that. We need to see that. The show needs to start getting a lot more brutal. Like, we need to see that kind of stuff. People need to start getting injured.
Well, they're kind of going back old school with the when the Shield was beating everybody down.
Yeah,
I loved it. They've been using the steps a lot more in the barricades. So.
When they whooped everybody's ass, I was like, finally. I'm like, finally, they're starting to let these guys prove their power. Like, yeah, like the authority's been going around doing all this stuff month after month. I'm just like, finally somebody's gonna go out there and just go freaking just melee on these guys. You know, like, dude, come on, let's just tear this place apart. After they took out everybody, I was hoping they chased freaking what's called Evolution up the stage. Get this thing backstage. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Let's get the fans crazy. They used to do that. They used to really drive these things to the extreme. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like, I remember when Mick Foley one time talking about taking it to the extreme. He's having a hardcore match, and I can't remember for the life of me who it was with, but they went all the way outside the arena.
Across the street into the bar.
This was
was getting wrapped up.
Who was it? Was it
I think it was hardcore.
I remember it was somebody. Yeah, no, they went outside. Yeah, they went all over the place. I remember. I can't remember who it was. I know exactly.
No,
this was the movie about when he was Mankind or something. Yeah, and they went up and down the street. Oh man, if any fans know, please put it in the comments who it was. Like, who faced.
I cannot remember.
Was it The Rock? Was it The Rock or was it Hardcore Holly?
I want to say it was Holly. But
Rock went all the way to the back.
Yeah,
it was Hardcore Holly. It was Hardcore Holly. Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna look this up. It was Hardcore Holly.
They went into a bar and started.
Yeah, they went. They put it in the video game. They put it in the video game. Yeah, it was in the video game. Oh man, this was good.
But that was a great match.
That was.
I think it was in
SmackDown 09.
SmackDown. It was the second or third SmackDown game where they had that sequence in there where you go down to the bar. It was the second SmackDown game. Because you go outside the arena, then you go down the street, and you go into the bar, and you break tables in the bar. It was classic, man. Classic, man. That was a good one they bring up. Yeah, that's classic stuff.
Yeah, but get back to the topic about Paige. I just think they could book her better. I mean, who
would you have her work?
Well, they don't really got nobody right now. I mean, except for Natalia, but they're too busy with a stupid Total Diva crap, which was stupid as hell Monday.
Thank you.
I mean,
where has AJ been since losing the title?
Well, we'll get into that later.
Okay.
But the whole thing with Total Diva is just getting stupider and stupider with, them having
this shit might as well be on MTV, man.
Yeah. But having them stand out there, grading them, having scorecards and that.
Yeah.
And the whole reasoning behind the match, this just was dumb.
I mean, I understand trying to tie it in, but to try to tie it in with Total Divas, come on.
It's they're trying to, WWE is a company that capitalize. They try to capitalize on whatever happens to be trendy, which is sometimes one of the worst things they can do. But capitalizing on the whole reality television. They're late for one thing. They're really late on this one. They are late to try to jump into the reality TV game because that's been going on for years.
And it's getting overdone.
Yeah, it's getting overdone now, and now is the worst time to try to jump into it.
Wrestling Big Brother.
Yeah, just they're really trying. I mean, they got the Legends House. They got Legends House now, and they're trying to really get into reality television. It's just like watch pretty soon after UFC's been getting hotter and hotter. They're probably the main thing now.
Yeah, but at least
and now they're going to try to they're going to try to capitalize on the whole mixed martial arts thing. They're going to pretty soon you're going to see people in WWE matches getting down in guard style and trying to do UFC stuff. You're going to see a lot of that happen.
Well, with the network, I wouldn't put it past.
Yeah. You watch. You're going to see it.
They're going to do their own version of the Ultimate Fighter.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to create Vince McMahon.
They're going to turn tough enough. They're going to turn tough enough into the Ultimate.
No, they're going to do worse. They're going to do worse. I'm telling you what he's going to do. Does anybody? Okay, I hate to bring this up. It's almost hearsay or taboo for any wrestling fan or anybody in the wrestling business to bring this up. But yes, we all remember the XFL, and I wouldn't put it past Vince McMahon to take one of his crazy gambles to try to open his own mixed martial arts league. Name it something. He's gonna name it something. Try to open his own. He's gonna hire his own fighters. He's gonna try to, and it's gonna fail miserably. It's gonna fail. It's gonna be another one of the big disasters. What's he gonna call this one? The XFC. XFC. He's gonna have his own roster of guys, and it's gonna look like Raw. And there's gonna be storylines and
He's
stuff.
going to have another lawsuit on his hands.
Hey, Brock Lesnar, you could be another champ again.
We'll give you the belt again. We're gonna push you. We're gonna push you just
With
like
Paul
Dana White.
Heyman behind him.
Brock Lesnar goes to UFC. He loses his opening debut, and then he gets 2 matches, and all of a sudden he gets a challenge for the UFC title. Tell me that's not a push. That's what we call a push. Oh my God.
Then it was like a force to be unreckoning with.
Oh God, it was all.
Went and demolished half the UFC world, comes back to WWE.
I'm not saying UFC is a complete work, but I'm saying for that particular moment, they saw a business opportunity and they took it on. If that wasn't a work, if Brock Lesnar in the UFC wasn't a work, you tell me that was one of the greatest works ever. That was a business move, and I hope it turned them some profit. I do hope it turned them some profit, because I enjoy watching UFC, but man,
I'm pretty sure it did.
Speaking of profit, over this week, word came out that Vince is no longer a billionaire, so CM Punk was right about that. Vince was a billionaire, but he lost money due to investors pulling out their money, and now he's down to $150 million, I think, because of the news of the TV deal with NBC Universal, which didn't go so well as Vince predicted back during the board meeting, but because of the ratings and it didn't get as big as he thought it was, and plus with the network not doing as good as he thought, a lot of the investors took their money elsewhere, and he's down estimated to $750 million.
He's not hurting.
Also, I was about to say, poor Raven. You want to trade bank accounts, Vince?
Here's the thing about Vince.
I'll show you broke.
Vince McMahon, when you talk about the billionaire, as they say, Vince McMahon, you got to think about what we're talking about when we talk about his assets and his money and everything. Vince McMahon, when they call someone a billionaire, most times, they're mostly talking about what that person's, when they say estimated worth and all that, it's mostly circumstantial. It's mostly the assets they speak of are not hard capital. It's more or less the kind of capital that is at your availability for a time. And sometimes it's even when you're in business, it's even something that's projected, like how much he's worth projected wise. If you're in television, it's always projected. How much are you going to make off of this is how much you have basically at the moment in TV talk. So if for instance WrestleMania is coming up, we've dropped we drop our regular amount that we spend on WrestleMania, you know, for the setups and everything and the engineers and all that kind of stuff. And the turnover, the pay-per-view buy rate's going to be this. We project it's going to be this. And we project that we're going to come out with this after overhead is paid and everything is done. We're going to make this much money off of it. And we're going to show it on network for this much. For they're paying $10, but we're going to make this much because this many more people are going to buy it from last year. Like last year, it was only on pay-per-view, so not many people bought it because it's like $50 or $60 or whatever. But this year, everybody's going to buy it. We're going to make the money faster because it's only $10, and everybody's going to buy the network. Gentlemen, he is not a billionaire. It's not actually. I want everybody to understand this. The man has never actually been a billionaire. It's all, that's how much he's worth. It's all, a lot of people hear this and they think that he actually has $1 billion in hard capital. It's not, I guarantee you it's never been hard capital. That's just a little fact for some of the younger people who watch wrestling, who happen to tune in this broadcast and want to become what they call smart fans. We're not smart fans, people. We're just people. We're just people who've grown and understand a little bit more about life. It's
Capital.
Yeah, capital. It's like a credit card, a loan, and a stock. That's what this is. That's what this is. It's like that's what it is, basically. It's
Wrestling Business 101. Y'all remember that?
Yeah. That's basically what it is. It's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes with it. It could be anything. Investments.
Thank you for the economic lesson.
Sorry.
Mr. Professor California Kid. But, I mean, you know, Vince knew the risk. I mean, you know, with Oprah owning her own network and how she said, you know, I'm sorry I brought this up, but, you know, be having my degree in mass communication, I had to pay the
You're doing fine, man.
But, you know, with Oprah saying how much owning her own network and having the problems of, you know, that she did when she discovered OWN, you know, Vince had to see this coming. You know, now you have Dish Network and DirecTV saying they're not going to carry WWE pay-per-views anymore. Plus, you know, when
Dish is fucking up all around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they are.
and
Dropping AMC.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was one of the worst
Right.
calls.
People be like,
Because we all know The Walking Dead. We all know. You have to be a crazy person right now to drop AMC. AMC was trying to. Didn't we talk about they were trying to get control of WWE? They're trying to get Raw.
Yeah.
If they would have done that, if they do end up.
they can't do it now because they signed the deal with NBC.
Yeah. Well, if they had, boy, Walking Dead, Raw. My God, they'd be untouchable.
Yeah.
That'd be freaking awesome.
I know, but see, the reason why on last show I said that would never happen is because I remember I called that would never happen because I was saying like there's no way if I was a network, if I was another network and I knew AMC had ambitions to buy Raw, I would do everything I could, even if I wasn't going to try to buy it off, even if I wasn't going to try to outbid them, I would do everything I could to make sure one of my other competitors ended up getting it that didn't have it. Like, I would never allow AMC to hold it because then that would crush everybody else, including myself. That would, including my network. Everybody else's network would be at a disadvantage. They have The Walking Dead, they have Monday Night Raw, and they have a whole bunch of other decent shows and movies that come on. They would kill everybody.
Yep.
They would kill everybody.
The new TNT.
But you know, and plus also you got to think about with all the salaries with the wrestlers, because if you saw any of the the timeline with Ivory that kayfabe commentators did with her, and she talking about how the XFL and how most of the wrestlers' pay got cut because of it, and now they probably doing the same thing with the network, even worse. And plus, then they got to figure out how they're going to give royalties to the wrestlers, with all the streaming and stuff like that. I mean, it's a good idea of the WWE network, but the way that the business is now, you have to take into consideration that it's not going to be as big as it was back in the 90s or 80s because the business has been exposed.
And why is that?
And,
no, that's not why.
well, yeah.
Yeah, part of it is, but that's not completely why.
And plus, because of the the way the economy is and the reason why people are not shoving out the money. I mean, look at the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views weren't selling. And
why aren't the pay-per-views selling? I say this every episode.
Because the product sucks.
Thank you. That is the key. It wouldn't matter how much they charged. It wouldn't matter if you are selling a product that is so addictive. We will buy your pay-per-views if it's worth it. WWE just isn't getting this message. The reason why they cut pay, the reason why they end up getting into these situations where they want everybody on roster to take one for the team. They're probably back there. The managers and everybody probably there. Look, we need everybody. They're having meetings in the locker room. Like, look, everybody's going to take whoever's on board. We're not asking you to do this, but if you guys could take one for the team, talk to the guys over here in the HR department. We need you guys to kind of see if everybody would take one for the team. This company's provided for you. We paid you this much for this many years. Your contracts are still going to be in place, but we need everybody for this year to take a little cut, and then we guarantee we'll pay everybody back twice as much the following year if we make back this much. Or they give everybody the little dance and whatnot, but really what's happening is it's either Linda McMahon made another run for an office that she's never going to get because she's trying to run on a Republican card when her own business and company is the most liberal thing on the planet, and then you have, and she fails, and then they have to make up the money for the campaign, or yes, like the XFL situation, or whatever kind of leap or risk Vince McMahon wants to take. Yes, they're going to run into this situation. All the while, this wouldn't be a problem, Vince McMahon taking these kinds of risks and the McMahon family doing what they want with the money. It wouldn't be a problem if they were selling a product that actually made the money and made up the difference because we're going to buy it. Now they go to the network because they need the money faster now. And merchandising is selling at a hot now, but it's just not enough. The merchandising profits just aren't enough, is it, Vince? Why is that, Vince? Because your product, the core product, isn't selling. Because your product sucks. It's watered down. It's weak. And most of this Attitude Era generation that you keep preaching about is still alive, although you seem to think we're all dead. We're still patronizing your product. It's just that we're not paying as much for it because it's not what we used to have.
What we want.
It's like selling cocaine.
Supply and demand, Vince.
Well, yeah, it is because
We demand.
I don't mean because y'all should have, but I'm just saying it's like you sold me cocaine for 10 years, and then the 1 year after the 10 years, you decide to go ahead and cut it down and water it down, and now you're going to sell me something that's not fully cocaine, it's not as pure?
Don't step on my cocaine.
Do you
Vince.
think I'm going to give you a $100 bill now? No, I'm not going to give you my $100. I'm not going to give you my briefcase of money or whatever the hell. I'm not going to give it to you because it's not what I was buying. I need my shit. There you go. That's why. That's why we are where we are. I'm sorry, I go on a rant sometimes. It just happens, guys, for you guys who are new on this show.
Oh, boy. Boy, I missed the pipe right now. Because he would have thought something really good to say to that.
Yeah, Pierre.
But, it comes with the territory. Plus, you also got WWE films that's not really doing all that good. I mean, it had a few successes this year, but add on to that and taking away from the wrestlers' paychecks, you can understand why Batista's a little bit upset about it.
Did anybody see Oculus?
I didn't.
Exactly.
Well, probably did.
Of course he did. He's the Pike. Of course he's going to go see Oculus.
It's funny that you brought up the damn WWE superstars being actors, because I remember one of the original actor/wrestlers, and it was Hogan when he started coming out in all these damn movies. Suburban Commando.
We can go on and on about that.
Wasn't that Hogan?
Danny.
Yeah.
Mr. Manny.
Mr. Danny, there you go.
There was one that I remember that
No,
not many people
we're
know
not
about.
getting, we're not
The
getting to
Ultimate.
that. We're not getting to that.
Never mind. I will leave that. I will not get into that.
No.
There are several of them.
That's for another show, another time.
Okay.
He already went in one rant.
3 Ninjas. No, go ahead.
Stop.
Never mind. Go.
Next topic. Anybody got any thoughts on Adam Rose's character?
I love Adam Rose.
I'm liking this.
He is awesome.
I'm starting to like this. I just wish that I want to really. The Adam Rose, the name. They got to make the name mean something. They're going with these regular names now, and I don't know why they think a more innovative name wouldn't work. Like, I mean, they could, they don't come up with gimmick names anymore, but they kind of give them just regular names now, and they kind of have the last name something that goes, since they want to go with a flower child, they're going to say Rose, because it's just, to me, I don't have a problem with it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I just want to see what he's going to do. Is he just going to be, when they actually get him to perform, is he going to be just average, or is he going to be above average? That's what I want to see.
I think he's actually wrestled on NXT a few times.
I was saying they're gonna know, because when people come from NXT, we've seen what happens. They kind of water them down a little, but some people are able to make that transition, still get over, which we've seen a lot of.
Paige, Emma.
Yeah, they've managed to survive it, but that's the real judging factor. What kind of Adam Rose are we gonna get when he shows up on the show? What is he gonna be? He's gonna be good. That's what I need to know. I haven't seen him in NXT, but I wonder, is he going to be good?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him in action. But, as far as his character, I like his character. He's crazy and just out there. I like how his little entourage comes out with him.
That is a great group.
Oh, that's the party guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. I love it.
I've seen glimpses of him so far, so.
The rabbits and the whole.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm liking it. It's different.
I mean, it's awesome. He just stage dives off the second rope. Yeah. They carry him around the ring.
It's fresh.
Yeah.
It's fresh. It is fresh. We haven't seen that. I like how JBL wasn't it JBL who mentioned the oddities? Somebody mentioned. Somebody mentioned the oddities. It's really. I hadn't seen anything like that.
But for God's sake, they need to just keep Michael Cole from dancing.
Yeah. Michael Cole has done enough to annoy us over the years.
No, they're gonna kill his character real quick.
Because man, I still think they're not giving the Adam Rose. I see him falling in the danger zone, because every time they bring back something that's been done before, that they bring back fresh like this, they always ruin it. Case in point, Fandango. He had a great theme. It was old school. It was kind of a very old school kind of thing. We hadn't seen anything like this in a while, since back in the early '90s when they used to do stuff like this. And they he danced. He does all this stuff. They could have kept him credible. I think. I don't think he needed to be a jobber. He actually had something. And now they're continuing to have him play this mediocre role in the storyline, which I don't think they should. I think there can be this humor about his character, but I think when it's time to go for the Intercontinental Championship or something, I think he's credible enough to do it. I just think they kind of make him look like a clown too much. It's unnecessary. It just is, man. It's one of those things. Like, I love the vignettes that they did for Del Rio. Del Rio's build was going fine until they had him lose to Rey Mysterio, and then they started rushing him to the top. They should have let him reign for a little while, let him win all the time, let him build some hate.
Well, they jobbed Goldust the same way.
Yeah, they did. They wanted him. They stopped his push cold, because really at the time they thought it was that he was way ahead of his time. He was something they were taking a dangerous chance on during it. He really was the beginning of the Attitude. I remember my friend, Tommy Chris Muscali mentioned that he was the seed of the Attitude Era, and he was to that time. He's the most extreme thing we've ever seen on the air. I mean, talk about edgy, But yeah, Adam Rose is. I hope he doesn't die. I hope he doesn't end up in what they call it, limbo.
I see what you did. Alright. Well, let's get to the question Dee brought up about AJ. Where's she been? Well, she's been planning a wedding because CM Punk confirmed at a Cubs game that he will be marrying AJ next month.
It's like movie stars marrying movie stars. It ain't gonna work.
It's funny you said that because I heard on another podcast that one of CM Punk's ex-girlfriends, who is still his friend, shockingly, was talking in the Chicago newspaper about how CM Punk was mad because he couldn't go out to Target and people wouldn't leave him alone, and just complaining about fame. I'm like, you knew what you were
now. You're in it now.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew what you were getting into when you got into the business. I'm not saying that it's right for everybody, to bother you every now and then, but that's
You make that bed, you got to sleep in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing, CM Punk though, he probably the problem is who he is. He probably just went without putting anything on.
Exactly.
He's an average. He can look average if he wants it. All you do is just put on a nice hat and just
Wear long
cover
sleeves.
up. Yeah, cover up a little bit, man. Like if you're going out, you can still go out and act like a normal person if you're CM Punk, but you just gotta cover up a little bit because they're gonna see if they see anything that they see a lot of on TV, they're gonna pull you out of a crowd and they're gonna spot you. It's just being smart about it. If you make that bed, you're gonna sleep in it because you take that hat off and you take your jacket off, they're gonna know exactly who you are. Shoot, but anyway. It's just a thought. Come on, Punk. Getting as far as the marriage goes, I give him this. My prediction would be that it would last. I think Shadai made a comment on something like it last. Somebody made a comment it's going to last like at maximum 3 years. I'd say if her personality is anywhere near her good looks, if her personality is anywhere near there, he's winning in the long run. But in the short term, if she's as average as anyone else, this is going to be a very celebrity versus celebrity situation. It's going to be a very celebrity marrying celebrity situation. It's going to be nothing but drama, and WWE's going to capitalize on it if he ever comes back or whatever. They're going to make their money off of it. Yeah. It's going to be a little, if CM Punk ever gets back in, heaven knows. It's going to be here. It's just something that can go anywhere. It just depends on who AJ really is outside of the business.
Yeah. Anybody else got any thoughts?
I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, has anybody seen the rivalry DVD with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart?
Oh, you know when they sat down?
Yeah, when they were sat down.
I've seen the interview. It was very insightful. I almost think that when I watched it, I almost feel like they sat down. Part of it makes you believe that the whole thing had been a work all along. Then part of it makes you believe that it's real, and it's kind of like it clashes with the concept. We're making these guys sit down who've hated each other for years, and they're burying the hatchet, and they're going to sit down and talk about it like gentlemen. And it just contradicts itself. It really does. During the questions and everything, it just contradicts itself. It's interesting to watch. It's a fun watch, but you can't really draw a conclusion about it. Really,
Okay.
I really don't know. After watching it, I just can't. It just seems like part of it. Shawn Michaels sitting there, and his demeanor just depicts like I'm here.
Yeah.
It's like I'm sitting here and I'm telling the same story I've been telling for years. You're talking about the sit down of JR, correct?
Yeah. But what I was trying to say was, I guess they either gonna put it on the network or they're gonna do more DVDs because they had put out a a list of topics, and they wanted the fans to vote, and I wanted to try to talk about it on the show. And the list of rivalries that they wanted the fans to vote on was Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair, Edge and Christian versus Matt Hardy and Jeff,
Great rivalry.
That'd be a great
Hogan versus Piper, Hogan versus Savage,
That'd be another good one.
Hogan versus Sting, Cena versus Edge, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, Flair versus Steamboat,
Flair and Steamboat's legendary.
Yeah,
They
it
just,
is.
there are matches that weren't even
Michaels versus Undertaker, Michaels versus Triple H,
Michaels
Austin,
H.
Austin versus The Rock, Austin versus McMahon,
Austin
Either
and
of them.
McMahon.
Both of those.
You gotta have those.
Rock
Both
versus
of those.
Triple H, Taker versus Kane, and Taker versus Mankind.
That'd be another
Taker
good
and
one.
Mankind.
Taker and Mankind
That
was a good program.
That Hell in a Cell. Oh
Where
my
the tooth
God.
came through the nose.
The
Yeah.
fucking choke slam.
It's all
Off the cell.
It's just, it's the stuff of wrestling lore. I mean, it just is. It's the stuff of.
That's what inspired me to do what
It's
I do
inspired a lot of
nowadays.
people
I
during
mean,
that day.
it's like, I want to do that one day.
It made a statement, man. It's
Well,
the reason why there are backyard
They
wrestlers.
had him on the stretcher, up the ramp, and he
Yeah.
got off, went back, and finished the match. Tooth hanging out of his nose.
Classic.
Yeah. Well, I would say mostly everything on there I would, be definitely wanting to see, especially the Austin and Vince,
those are
Austin,
classics. I
One
mean,
of
Triple
the
H.
greatest feuds.
Triple H and Rock and Rock and Mankind. And I want to see Triple H versus Mankind, especially now with all the crap Mankind been saying about Triple H.
well, can't blame him.
And
Triple H, boy.
the Dusty and Flair one. But I would be glad to see any of them. I wish they do more of the roundtable discussions.
Yeah, like what? Why did they stop that? I haven't seen any more.
I think they did one for WrestleMania.
Did they?
Yeah, but it's on the network. But they need to do more. All right, let's get to the next topic. I gotta give a little apologies to the Pike because I didn't believe him, but yes, they are calling the Paul Heyman DVD. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman.
That's the title of the DVD.
Paul Heyman
Why
says
does he
too
need
in
a
your
DVD?
face. I'm Paul Heyman. Look at me. I'm ugly. I got a ponytail. I'm Paul Heyman.
No, he doesn't even have the ponytail.
He lost the
That was always part of his hat.
So the ponytail.
The ponytail was built in the hat.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
ponytail.
fucking God.
It was. He's Paulie. It's Paulie.
Yeah, but they had the synopsis out, and it goes, one of the most controversial managers and figures in WCW, ECW, and WWE history. For the first time ever, fans get the full story of the life and career of Paul Heyman. From his beginnings as a ringside photographer at Madison Square Garden to becoming a manager at WCW, then heading up the infamous ECW, Paul has his own unique brand of over-the-top, in-your-face entertainment that has developed him a cult-like following. Unfortunately, his financial savvy didn't match his creative genius, and ECW was eventually purchased by WWE. Vince always got to put that in there.
Killed by WWE. I
Since
need to
joining
rephrase
WWE
that.
Since joining WWE,
Killed.
Paul has gone to great heights, including managing Brock Lesnar when he finally broke Undertaker's WrestleMania streak this year. The collection includes great behind-the-scenes footage and interviews with past and present talent talking about Paul's contribution to the world of sports entertainment, featuring interviews with Raven, Tommy Dreamer, Joey Styles, Mick Foley, RVD, Stephanie McMahon, and of course the man himself.
I'm surprised it's not titled My Client, Brock Lesnar.
It's like he just Paul Heyman is like, I mean, he's done. You look at the man's career. He was this cult leader. I mean, that's the way Terry Funk described him. He was like a cult leader. He could get people to go out there and literally die for him. Like that's how he ran ECW. He just was able to get to motivate people to go out there and just mangle themselves, man and woman, just to go out there and just kill each other.
He's
Like
definitely a talker.
in front of a crowd in a freaking sweaty hall, and he's able to get these people to get out there, pick up weapons, and just crush each other. That's what he did, and he made and I mean, man, it just he did it for years, until it became legend. It's amazing. People always call it that. Paul Heyman. And see, like I tell people all the time, a lot of fans talk about, it was a disgrace to have Brock Lesnar in the streak. It wasn't about Brock Lesnar, really. When you think about it, the whole thing was about Paul Heyman.
Well, it wasn't a disgrace. It was just stupid.
To some fans, it was.
The bill was. It wasn't built up right, and it was just lame.
And Brock Lesnar was not the person for the job.
See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of fans leave that there, but ultimately, it wasn't all bad because it was something that Paul Heyman guaranteed would happen, and it did. And it looked like it was just going to be, he's going to go out there, they're going to come close, but it's not going to happen. And you got to give it credit. The moment it happened, at the very second it happened,
That shock value.
the shock value was there. I give it that. The shock value was there. I mean, the moment it happened, we would have never thought it would happen. We were almost sure that Taker was going to throw the shoulder up. We could guarantee, God, you could bet money that Taker was going to throw that shoulder up. But this was the one time it didn't happen. And we're just sitting there like, wait a minute, there must have been a mistake. We have to get up and just like.
So, on that subject, does anyone expect to see Taker at the next WrestleMania?
No, I hope not. I hope please don't do that.
Right.
That would be the worst thing ever. Like, that would ruin everything.
That almost guarantees it to happen.
Well, hopefully on his DVD he talks a little bit about his time with Punk, his time as creative, and I hope he be open and is able to say some stuff, but he's probably not. But it's pretty much a definite cop, so I'll probably get it. And I think probably said that it's gonna come out in August. Okay. Does anybody want to talk a little bit about TNA?
TNA.
I don't really watch.
Because a lot of people don't watch it, but it's always the hardest time on the show when you talk about TNA because they're trying to recover, but at the same time, I think the damage is done. I really think that Jeff Jarrett is getting ready to bury it in his own way. I guess what will lead into another topic coming up is that I think that's part of what's going to come up in this discussion as well is the TNA's death may actually be.
Well, let's combine together. We haven't talked very much about the new promotion that Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett are doing called Global Force Wrestling. Anybody got any thoughts about it?
I hope that for the life of me, I hope that it does succeed. As many criticisms as they've had about Jeff Jarrett over the years, if Jeff Jarrett opens another company and he doesn't put himself in the limelight, he will have the support of everyone. He will have the support of everyone, and I mean everyone, because I think that for one thing, I know AJ Styles will go there. AJ Styles will go to him if he calls because AJ Styles has faith in Jarrett. He has faith in Jeff Jarrett, and people will go there. Jeff Jarrett, on the other hand, if he opens another wrestling company, the only thing I can suggest he do is that make sure he find the best backers he can possibly find. Because nowadays, if you're getting into the wrestling business, WWE, of course, is selling a product, is selling a sports entertainment product, but they're starting to try to capitalize in the wrestling market, even though sometimes they flake on that and they ruin their chances of actually capitalizing the market, so that works to his advantage. And TNA is going to be out of the ball game really soon if they don't if they don't. I've said this before. TNA needs to shut down for 2 weeks. They need to shut down for 2 weeks. They need to fire certain people, They
Well,
need to rebuild.
They're doing most of that now.
It's too late. They should have been
with
done this.
them losing Kazarian, Daniels.
They're gonna lose
I
more.
think they said Hernandez is gone too.
They're gonna lose more. The only reason certain people are there because they need a little bit of money.
And plus,
that
they're going to lose Angle because
Angle's
again,
gonna
Angle
walk.
lost he tore his ACL, so he's going to be gone for
Well,
a
that
couple of
sucks because like Kurt Angle was probably about the only damn thing they have.
Yeah, he's finna walk.
Jeff Hardy.
They still got Hardy, but they got him on that stupid Willow character.
Yeah, Hardy
Hardy's unreliable.
Hardy is unreliable. I mean, if that
when's the
one,
next time he's gonna go off on one of his binges?
exactly, and that one time he had that match against Sting and it humiliated the entire company in the wrestling business, frankly.
And then they're talking about Sting coming to WWE.
Well, yeah,
Well, that's one thing he said he'd never do though.
Yeah, but he signed his deal.
Here's the
And
thing.
he was on that. Oh yeah, I do forgot something. But keep that for later.
See, the thing about it is that TNA, like Jeff Jarrett has an opportunity here, and this time I hope he learned from last time. See, the thing is, I hope he doesn't try to redo what he did with TNA. That's the worst thing he could possibly do, is try to redo what he did in TNA.
Well, not necessarily.
Don't start next division. Don't call it anything. Just don't do that. Work with the young talent. Start another company. Put a title up. One title. Don't get crazy and have 3 different titles or 4 different titles on the show. One title. Start out small. Make it effective like you did with TNA, but don't remake TNA. TNA started out as a pure wrestling product, and it was good. It was like the new wave it hit, and it was more based on the X division, and there was no limits in the X division. You had the hottest young guys from the indies. You had I mean, man, there was no gender divisions. There was just this crazy scramble to get this damn belt. Everybody was doing everything they could, coming up with all kinds of new kinds of matches to get their hands on this belt. And you'd watch every Wednesday. You'd watch every Wednesday to see what was going to happen, whether Kid Cash or AJ Styles or whoever the hell Christopher Daniels was gonna pull some crazy stunt to get this belt, or Trinity or whoever else was on the show. You would watch to see who was going to do this. It was a good show. And the heavyweight division was kind of the second thing you ever worried about. It wasn't even the main attraction. People watched the heavyweight match is kind of like a cool down period, the heavyweight title match. Jeff Jarrett needs to reestablish connections with the NWA, and he needs to get back in business and get back to what made it a success. And this company is his opportunity to either do that or do something completely new that we haven't thought of. And that's the only way he's going to make it in this freaking ocean right now. Or he's going to be swimming, or he's just going to get eaten by a bigger fish. I mean, that's what the business is. But anyway, he has Tennessee. That's he has that audience. I mean, he's going to always have that fan base.
Well, I'm all for it because we do need some more, promotions. Because ROH is not the same as it used to be.
No.
WWE, WWE, TNA is just, I hate to say it, dying.
A lost cause.
I mean, you look at TNA. I mean, like
TNA
I said, they
dark side.
Yeah, go ahead.
all right.
Sorry I had to do that, y'all.
But TNA. I mean, it's just dying a slow death. I mean, like I said before, they lose Kazarian, they lost Christopher Daniels, and they losing Kurt Angle, which is like one of the major players that they had left. Now that Sting's in WWE, and all they have now is Hardy, but he's doing this stupid Willow character that makes no damn sense. And then you look at the Knockouts division, and they're not as good as they used to be. I mean, of course, they got Gail, and they brought back Angelina Lowe, which I like, but let's face it, they're not as good as they used to be. Back when TNA was good. And then now they're doing more stupid things like the evening gown match, and the whole thing with Velvet, acting like she was exposing her breast on the last episode. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, like, wasn't your whole motto like a months ago was like Wrestling Matters,
Right.
and you doing shit like that.
Wrestling Matters was copy WWE.
They do that all the time. Yeah, it's like they're trying. That was the biggest mistakes when they tried to go sports entertainment. It was terrible.
Yeah.
They're not good at. They don't have the tools to do story like WWE does. They've tried it and it sucks. They're not a sports entertainment based company, and your talent has not been working with veterans and people who tell stories. They're indie people. They're people from the indies. They work matches. They tell their stories in the ring. They don't do promos and all this backstage stuff because they're bad actors.
And also, Dixie Carter needs to get off of TV. Her character
That was
sucks.
one of the worst ideas ever.
Her character sucks, and she should just stay off of TV. And like I said, I don't understand why they gave the title to Eric Young. I got nothing against him. He's a great
copy
wrestler.
WWE because he has a beard and he's a.
But
He knows
yeah,
Oh God, they
yeah,
did
you
it
got
good.
a point.
He's like an upcoming guy and he has a beard.
But still,
Beard's hot right now. Beard's on fire.
yeah. But the guy is not what I would call a champion material. Now they seem like they turned MVP heel, which was dumb. Because what's the point of getting rid of one evil authority figure and then replace it with another evil authority figure? And now, I guess they're gonna start a group with him, Kenny King, and Bobby Lashley. Now, I'm all for Kenny King being in the group because Kenny King is awesome.
Ashley.
And, I think they should have him more on TV, since day one. But why in the blue hell you don't put Bobby Lashley in there?
I thought he was going to UFC.
Bobby Lashley.
Then he blows like twice in his match.
I've said this before. I'll say it again. Bobby Lashley is one of the softest workers I've ever seen on national television. Bobby Lashley is one of the most overrated performers I've ever seen on national television. Bobby Lashley cannot speak. He certainly cannot strike in the ring. He's terrible. Bobby Lashley, I don't hate him personally. I think he probably is a fine person, but I mean, Bobby Lashley needs to understand that he is not meant for the wrestling business because for his size, he does not emit the kind of performance that I would expect from a man with his look and his size. He is terrible. He always has been terrible, and he will continue to be terrible. It's bad when I can sit here and confidently say, a backyard wrestler, sitting on a show, on a very nice podcast show here, and I've done thousands of videos and faced all kinds of people and from all different walks of life who get in the backyard wrestling. I am a backyard wrestler. I am not professionally trained. I can sit here and tell you that if I got into a match with a man Bobby Lashley's size, doing what he does on television, he would not last 5 minutes with me. I would break him out there because, for one thing, he would not be able to handle the kind of physicality that I could put on him. And I am an untrained backyard wrestler, and I can tell that from watching him on national television. I've never met the man. I've never grappled with the man. I can tell you right now that I can beat up Bobby Lashley easily.
Bravo! I cannot.
It is fact. I am not sitting here saying this in arrogance, and people listening will hear this. I invite anyone to tell him this. I can beat Bobby Lashley easily. I will break him in the ring. I'm not talking about physical fighting. I am talking about a wrestling match. I will break Bobby Lashley in the ring because he cannot wrestle. He cannot seriously work like you need to work to entertain people. For his size, I will break him.
And if anyone does get the message out there, we wrestle in Macon, Georgia.
I don't care. I've been saying this for years. Bobby Lashley is soft. He is soft.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. But
That's out there.
But I give Jarrett, I hope he does succeed, but it's gonna be hard with the way things are now. Plus, you also got AAA making their splash in the U.S. market on God, what's his name? Not Tarantino, but Robert Rodriguez's channel, which they should be start filming pretty soon. So Jared's gonna have his hands full.
Good Lord. He's bless his heart. That's one of those southern things they say, right? I'm from San Diego. I'm on the west. I'm southwestern, but I still will. That's why I fit in a little bit over here, even though I don't talk like you people. Even though I am southern.
That's the easiest way to get away with
insulting
somebody.
I am learning fast on this side of the country, gentlemen.
Yeah. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Well, that boy's a screw up.
Yeah. Well, we're going to end with two topics from entertainment. All right, let's talk about the photo that was leaked this week of Ben Affleck in the bat suit with the villain of the Batmobile.
Leak. For
anybody that didn't see, it had a picture of Ben Affleck in black and white. It looked like it was raining, and it had a photo of the new Batmobile, which some people were saying was kind of a cross of the Nolan Tumbler and the 80s Tim Burton's Batmobile. And it had Ben Affleck with kind of a resemblance to the Dark Knight costume from the Frank Miller comic book, with the big bat emblem and some scars on it. It looked all right. It was good, but I'm still gonna wait for a trailer.
It was a conscious decision. Go ahead.
With this Batman vs Superman unofficial title of the movie, what they're going for is they're trying to follow an animated movie that came out, Dark Knight Returns.
Which is awesome.
I saw part one. I didn't see
part two is where Superman comes in. And that's what they're trying to follow.
Yes.
I feel like they did a great job of bringing that costume to life, because if they're basing it on that was what the costume looked like in the movie.
That's what I was going to say.
And they did a great job.
If they're trying to base it off that, my one thing is good fucking luck, because the animated was just
so well voiced. It was well written,
and that film was actually based on a graphic novel. So
the graphic.
I just, like I said, from the beginning when they announced that Ben Affleck was my biggest concern, and everyone keeps pointing me to the film.
Daredevil.
No. The last film, the one where he's the CIA agent. I watched it. I can't even remember the name of it right now because I have a crazy headache. This last movie
was that the one with with Tom Cruise, but they replaced him?
Yeah, the one where he plays the CIA agent who goes over to get the people out of Iran. Argo, yes. Everybody keeps the people who are optimistic about this keeps pointing me to his performance in Argo, and I watched Argo, and I understand what they're talking about, but at the same time, it's going to take more than just him acting serious to play Batman. What I'm looking at is Ben Affleck's face, his shape, the shape of his face, his voice.
That's my main thing.
Here's my problem with this. Like the thing everybody's seeing here. Now, who's crazy? Zack Snyder has done some good work with his directing. Now his pick for this Ben Affleck character. My only concern is Ben Affleck is being asked not only to be serious, but he has to play who many consider to be the world's greatest detective. He has to play Bruce Wayne, Batman. He has to play a character with not only the smarts of the character he played in Argo, he has to be smarter, and he has to play it with a little bit of tragedy in it, because the parents and the whole and just the whole psychedelic psychology, dark psychedelic psychology with the bat thing and all that crap. You have to have, even though it's not probably going to get brought up in the movie, it's going to maybe hinted to in the movie because they got a lot more to worry about in the Batman and Superman movie. But my God, it has to be in the performance. We have to see that, and he has to speak it, and we have to feel it. And when I look at Ben Affleck, I just don't see it. I hope Zack Snyder does. 'Cause I just don't see it.
It's like I said with Pipe. The problem I have with this is it just seems to me that Warner Bros. And DC is just rushing to try to catch up with
They are.
Avengers, and they trying to add all these heroes
Super
into
friends.
the movie. And if we didn't learn anything from Batman and Robin, you can't add that many people into the movie like that. It's just going to be a big clusterfuck.
Mm-hmm.
And
Batgirl.
what makes
fuck off.
what makes
Arnold is
what
Mr.
makes the
Freeze.
Avengers what made the Avengers
Technologies called me in the morning.
It could if the
we
script
killed the
was-
dinosaurs, the Ice Age.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Arnold is Mr. Freeze.
We already talked about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Leave
yeah.
it alone. Leave it alone.
I mean, yeah. But the fans know
but
what I
let me
said
finish
about that.
Let me finish my point. What made the Avengers good was Marvel took their time. They established Thor. They established Captain America. They established Iron Man. They established all these guys except for Hulk.
Yeah,
but
Hulk
that was
changed.
okay. But they took their time.
The second movie helped the Hulk. Like that second movie helped.
The
Yeah.
one with Edward Norton.
Yeah. The second movie brought credibility back to it. I got to give
His
him.
first Hulk movie was just Hulk smash, pretty much.
It was
It was just too
it
boring.
was over the
But
top.
anyway, it's just that DC needs to take its time and learn from Marvel and stop trying to rush it, because you can't. If you couldn't do a good Green Lantern movie, you can't even get a Wonder Woman movie off the
They
ground.
tried. Oh God, if they tried.
How can you make a Justice League movie? You can't even get Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and you haven't even did Aquaman yet.
Our friend Trey
I
Strager.
say they should stick
They don't
to
need to do
when they
Aquaman.
do Justice League
Oh,
movies.
it's dangerous.
Aquaman.
Keep it as an anime because they do a great job.
Yeah,
they really do.
Yeah.
I'll say this: if they like, my friend Trey Swagger brought up a good Roy brought up a good point about how they would bring in Wonder Woman if they took the approach sort of as they did with the Black Widow, kind of tiptoeing her in deeper into the series before they actually brought her in there. They kind of showed her a bit every once in a while, as the Shield thing. They tiptoe Wonder Woman in just to see how we feel about it with the costume and everything, and just kind of tweak her as they go along. They could do it, but at the same time, the fact that she hasn't, that Wonder Woman is a much more, the way I look at it, Wonder Woman is just a much more important character that you can't simply just have there. Like, if you having a movie about Wonder Woman, there's so much it's not just some little thing that you can just lead into. I thought about it more. There's the whole thing with the mascara and there's all this stuff that happens with Wonder Woman. There's a whole slew of things that have to be talked about where you can just have Wonder Woman there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot has to be explained before she gets to the point where she's in the Justice League.
Right.
I mean, my God, it's part of the whole lure of it. It's just, all this stuff happens. It's just, we want to see the island. We want to see good acting over there. We want to see the women. We want to see all the stuff that happens.
One character I want to see DC take somewhere is the Flash.
Well, they're doing a TV show.
Since when is this?
This just,
They brought it in Arrow.
Yeah. They announced that it's going to be in the fall schedule.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
this is new.
Which Arrow is this? Because
Green Arrow.
I know that, but
It's part of
You
season
didn't see
2.
this.
You haven't got to
You
it
didn't
yet.
see the second. You didn't see the season finale of Arrow, did you?
I think I did watch that.
No.
I'm missing the last episode. That's right.
Yeah, you see the. Yeah,
You gotta see
Would
the
you
last
watch it
episode.
something?
Ooh.
Well, I guess
But, yeah,
the only woman that shuts Zero down around here.
Yeah. It's like you're watching what she wants.
In Arrow, they set it up.
Yeah, please don't spoil it.
Okay.
Don't spoil it for the boy.
I have to have a next match with you. You spoil Arrow.
I was just gonna say they set it up where the Flash is gonna come in.
See,
Gets his own
that's
show.
what I've been waiting on, man. Is
Take great care.
take the average superheroes that have to try super hard. To hell with Superman. He's just like, a PCP junkie on the sun.
He put it there, bro. I like that one. I give him props for that. That was nice.
But but Warner Bros. Look at it as Batman, Superman, so they do, and that's why they more focus on. To put it bluntly, what the guy from Comic Book Cast said, they Marvel Studios is run by fans, people that read comic books and know the stuff,
Right.
while DC is run by studios that don't know shit about the product and only care about the money. And that's why DC screws up most of the time than Marvel does because they don't know the product.
They're definitely
And they're not run by people that know the product and actually love the product.
That's right. Have to agree there.
But let's get into our final discussion. Let's talk about our thoughts about Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Okay.
I will say that this movie is awesome. I won't say that it was better than the first Captain America, but it damn near close.
Oh man, you're losing me.
Oh come on! It wasn't that as good. As
The first one was not that good.
It was good.
It was not that good.
I agree, it was pretty crap.
I mean, it should have been more Captain America, and the only reason the first one lost me is because I guess Captain America's build-up is boring to me. I mean, I know he was a soldier, and he got frozen ice, and that's pretty much it. As far as him selling war bonds, you lost me with that. Captain America was out here in the grunt of it, the mix of it all. He was in the stink of the war. So the first movie lost me with that. So I hope they did better.
The second one is definitely. I will say this: the second one is definitely worth anyone's time. It starts off really nicely, and it just continues to build, and it builds until you get to that elevator scene, and that elevator scene is going to be the one that was one of my favorite scenes in a Marvel movie.
Go ahead and speak it up, because regardless, you can't ruin it for me. I'm going to watch it regardless.
Yeah. The elevator. You need to watch this movie because in the movie there's a scene that I guess they even teased in the trailer, is when he's in the elevator with all the SHIELD agents, and some of them are actually Hydra, and he's standing in there. And they're all as he goes up, as he keeps stopping, more of them get in, and more of them get in, and more of them get in, and after a while they're just standing there, and he's just, Captain America's looking around like, okay, fine, he's like, before we get started, does anybody want to get off? He's just like, he just shows the courtesy. He's giving him the courtesy. Like, he's like, guys, I don't know if you guys know this. It's kind of like him saying, guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm still going to win this fight because obviously I know pretty much that I'm stronger than all of you still. Like, you guys made good preparations here, but I'm guaranteeing you that you're going to lose this fight. So I'm going to allow anyone, this is going to hurt really bad, so I'm going to allow anyone to get off who needs to get off right now. Because the dude, some of them were sweating in there. He could see it. It was a great scene. It's worth seeing. It's like one of my favorite scenes ever.
Yeah. But one of my favorite scenes had to be with Winter Soldier when you finally get to see him.
When the mask
It
comes
just,
up.
well, no, I mean like
When he first shows up.
when he shows up and he's fighting with when he goes after Fury.
Oh, yeah.
And he destroys the SUV.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
That was awesome. Then his first encounter with Captain America, that was cool. I mean, it was very. I mean, they did him good. I just wish he had more of a part in the movie. And I think Robert Redford is just a GOAT. The guy was a great, character in the movie.
He played the role, man.
That one scene with the maid, that was sad.
Dude, like,
that was sad.
Dude, he just shot like, dude.
Where's the one? What was name? Burger or something? Like, I wish you. Nah.
Yeah,
and then he shot him.
Shot him like, okay.
And then he asked the Winter Soldier, "You want some milk?" And I'm like, seriously?
Wow, dude. Like, I think the Winter Soldier at that point just sitting there like, dude, like, it's not that serious. Because you would look at him, he's just sitting there, like, and he actually wants some milk. He's sitting there like, I think he's thinking like, dude, it wasn't that serious. Like, did she even really see me? It's like, you know, like, dude, I think you could have maybe held off on that one.
But I did like it was more in depth. I did like how they connected everything from Iron Man, the thing with Tony's dad, the chick that was in the first movie that was his love interest. Yeah, I was kind of sad how they ended that.
Yeah, it was tough.
They pulled a little tearjerker in there.
Yeah.
It was a good one, too. It was a deep one, too.
It's hard for a good comic book to do that, or a comic book movie.
The thing with Black Widow was awesome, especially the kiss scene.
Yeah, that was good.
And-
I like the moment when he goes back to the machine looking for the device that he put in the little vending machine, and it's gone, and you're thinking like, okay, it's gone, and then he automatically knows. As soon as he sees her, he knows she took it. He's like, you don't know if she's good or bad. You're just like, dude, Captain America just grabs her ass and says, "Where is it?" You know, he was serious, man. Like, what's up? It was great. That was great, man.
I thought it was interesting how they did Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, he was good. That was well done.
I'm glad they got away from his flamboyant costume.
Oh yeah, that was a way better take.
You
on it.
should watch Mojo. You seen the first costume he had, and that was even worse.
Whew.
But the climax was pretty cool. I loved the way that they treated the guy at the end with Black Widow.
Yeah, that was smart.
Awesome. And the fight scene on the helicarrier, that was cool too.
That was nice.
And then they set up for, I guess, Captain America 3. And then the thing at the end with the scene for setting up for the Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
That was pretty nice. So all in all, I give it a 4 out of 5. It was a good movie, and I will be copping when the DVD drops.
yeah, not bad. It was a very entertaining piece.
Another thing I like is that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tied in with it.
The whole thing.
I haven't watched Age of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. I'm gonna probably wait till the DVD to get into it. But I'm waiting for. They did announce that they are going to do Agent. God, what was that chick's name? The one that was across the hall, and then you found out that she was an agent.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I
Agent,
love that. That was
it started
a
with
good little twist in there where Captain America lives. You need to watch it. You'll like this. It's a good little
Agent.
twist.
Is it started with
Department
M?
Agent. I don't remember something. Matt. Fans, leave a comment. Agent something. She was.
You talking about the one that lived across the hall?
Lived across the hall from him, and that's like I said. You really even the audience just doesn't like. She's just some girl there. We think Cameron's moved in this old time apartment because it just appeals to his sense of old school American 1920s looking. He lives in an apartment. I mean, for God's sake, you're Captain America. You make all this money, you live in an apartment. It's like, the Shield's obviously going to station someone living near you just to keep tabs on you.
Yeah, but I can't.
I like this little list of things to check out.
Yeah. He keeps a list in his pocket.
Agent Carter.
Yeah, he keeps a little.
She's
list.
gonna get a new show. It's gonna be in between during the summer leading up to the new
That's good.
second season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You will like the list.
And plus, I
It's
can't
got
wait for
Nirvana on it.
Yeah, because he
Thai food.
just
I
doesn't
can't
know
remember those.
everything that's going on in the world, so he just writes it down on his little list. It's like Marvin Gaye. He's like,
says,
he writes down Marvin Gaye.
It says
I did.
Rocky, Thai food.
Oh yeah, I did like
Nirvana.
the setup with the Falcon. When they were jogging through the Washington D.C.
Yeah,
I was like, don't pass me, man. Don't do it.
He just keep they're I don't know how far it is, but it's like a long way, and he keeps like lapping him. It's just great. It's like laps him.
But it was a pretty good movie, and now all I gotta do is just catch up with Thor, and then I'll be set. But yeah, that's pretty. Oh yeah, and can't wait for the Netflix series. with Daredevil and all that.
Thank God.
What?
Come on.
Well,
Yeah, I'm like, hurry up with it.
Yeah, he's gonna watch that.
Yes.
He's gonna be watching.
It's
that.
like the whole reason I pay for Netflix, man. It's
Sadly, the movie we got was
garbage.
yes. I will say that I did like the park scene, but that was it.
Hopefully he does Batman some justice.
we all hope.
I'm worried about the voice though, like you said.
The voice, yeah,
I'm worried about the Batman. I think he's going to be a great Bruce Wayne.
it's just the
I
Batman.
just don't know about the Batman.
That's what I'm saying.
I kind of hope they don't do the drastic change like with what's his face.
He can play Bruce Wayne. It's
I
just-
mean, because Daredevil was a good movie, but
Christian Bale, that's his name.
Ben Affleck and Daredevil's voice wasn't right, so
it just
he tried to be a little too raspy.
yeah, it's something about that movie. It's a lot of things about the movie that just didn't work. And then, like I said, the only thing I remember about the movie was the fight scene he had with Elektra, and the fight scene in the park was the one reason that I would even watch the movie. Just that fight scene in the park. It was
Just as the blind man.
for some reason the choreography and everything. I don't know who did the choreography, but it wasn't even very superficial. It was a very nice choreography. It was pretty smooth. It wasn't too choppy like you see in the movies. One thing you see in a lot of these superhero movies, and at least in the early part, I guess they're trying to get the actors break before they really start working them, is that the action scenes are so damn choppy.
You can tell where they cut and paste, cut and paste.
I'm like, God, it's so choppy. I can't tell what the hell's going on. Did he wrench his arm or what? I'm sitting like, what happened? It's so damn choppy. It's the worst, and I'll throw this in there before we close. The worst fight scene editing I've ever seen was in a WWE movie, and I will tell you which one it was.
Left turn.
Huh?
Left turn.
No, not that one. It was a Stone Cold Steve Austin piece. The very first one.
Oh,
Does anyone remember?
The Condemned.
Yeah, the Condemned. Does anyone remember the fight scenes in the Condemned? Does anyone remember? Can anyone tell me what happened during the fight scenes in Condemned?
No, because you saw the people flying.
I mean, the worst cut fight scenes in the history of cinema there. I mean, literally. They were so choppy you can't tell what happened.
I don't know. There was one where Stone Cold played a prison guard, and it ain't the football movie The Longest Yard. It was him and I think Robert De Niro.
Really? There was a movie with that?
Yeah,
the
they
straight
were.
DVD.
Yeah, they were prison guards, and the prison gets taken over by this squad of prisoners, and Stone Cold and Robert De Niro are fighting the masterminds, and it has a shitty, choppy fight scene.
It's like, yeah, it's really bad. Like, it's like worse than that opening fight scene. And this was a decent movie. The first Mortal Kombat movie where Johnny Cage, Sonya, and Liu Kang fight the henchmen, fight the
Ninjas.
Yeah, the ninjas in the dining room area. If you watch that fight scene, it's actually, in these day and age, it's one of the worst fight scenes you'll ever watch. The rest of the movie is fine, but that fight scene in that dining room is so badly cut. They cut every time every time right before the hit hits, you'll notice that it's so noticeable. They cut to a close up of the person of the foot slowly hitting the person's face. It's some of the worst editing. I would, if they had just changed that scene, the movie would be fine.
I've seen better fight scenes than Kung Pao Hustle.
Yeah, thank you.
Can be worse than Annihilation.
Oh, don't even get started on Annihilation. Is one of the worst movies of all time. It's actually on the
But it's
glorious. I said it's glorious. That movie is one of the worst movies ever made, and for several reasons. And it's just like I said.
The sad thing is I used to own that movie. Because I did see the movie in theaters and then I bought it at a Blockbuster.
Oh my God! It's like
and somebody stole it, and I'm surprised they didn't bring it back. And gave it back to
Like here, man. I'm sorry, it was horrible.
Just when you think the Sousa couldn't make the world worse with his take on Street Fighter '94, I mean, you get more Kombat Annihilation. Oh my God!
And then followed by Street Fighter: The Legend of China.
Oh, that's on the worst movies of all time.
I was watching that the other day.
Mortal Kombat to the movie.
It's like, God.
I don't know.
Somebody shoot that guy before he makes another one.
Oh, God, it was awful. It was
And
awful.
on that note, we'll end this podcast right here. I'd like to thank Dees Zero and California Kid for joining me. And please subscribe, like, comment, and thank you for joining us. And we'll see you guys later. Yay!
All right.